Hello my dear students, as you know, in the previous classes we have learned about the electric current and the potential difference. So in this class we will try to find out the relationship between the electric potential and the uh, electric current, okay, by this given activity, which is our activity 12.1. So now read the activity. They are saying set up the circuit as shown in figure 12.2. This is a circuit consisting of a nichrome wire XY of length say 0.5 meter. So this is our XY wire, okay, this zigzag line. An ammeter, so this is our ammeter. A voltmeter, so a voltmeter, you can see it is connected across the XY, and 4 cells of 1.5 volt each. So these are 5 cells which are 1.5 volt each. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel, chromium, manganese and iron metal. So this wire, this is our nichrome wire. First use only one cell as the source in the circuit. That means first we will connect the circuit here. Okay, this one here only we will use this particular cell. Clear? Next they are saying note the reading in the ammeter for the current and the reading of the voltmeter V for the potential difference across the nichrome wire XY in the circuit and tabulate them in the given table. Suppose we take the reading and our reading are V1 for the potential difference and I1 for the current flowing through the conductor. Okay, so these are imaginary values, you will get the actual values here. So then we will find out the ratio of V1 to I1. Suppose that ratio is R. Clear? Next they are saying connect the two cells in the circuit and note the respective reading of the ammeter and voltmeter for the values of current through the nichrome wire and the potential difference across the nichrome wire. Again we will find the reading of voltmeter and ammeter. Suppose the readings are I2 and V2. Then again we will find the ratio of V2 over I2. We will find out that this ratio is same R. Okay. Then we will connect the three cells here 1, 2, 3. So we will connect three cells and then again we will find out the reading of ammeter and voltmeter. Suppose it is I3 and V3. Again find the ratio V3 by I3. It will again approximately equal to R. Then we will connect the four cells. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We will connect the four cells and again find out the reading of ammeter and voltmeter. Suppose this is I4 and V4. Again we will find the ratio. We will find out that again the reading is approximately R. Okay, so what does we get from here? We find out that the ratio of V to I is found to be approximately the same. That means ratio of V over I, okay, it is approximately the same. Clear? The graph between V and I is a straight line passing through the origin. How we can find that? I am giving you some imaginary values. Okay, they have given you that the each cell is of 1.5 volts. Suppose, so our reading are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this is 1.5, 3, 4.5 and 6. Okay, here we will take it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now if you take the point, you can see here this point will approximately come here. So when you join them, they will form a straight line. Clear? Like this. So when we'll get the actual value and when you draw the graph, you will get approximately a straight line. Clear? So this ratio, which is V over I, it is a constant ratio and this constant ratio is called resistance of the conductor and it is denoted by the symbol R. Clear? Now we can find see that V over I is always equal to R, which is the resistance of the wire. We will shift the I here, so V is equal to Ri. Now if I take this R as a constant, because we are using a fixed wire, we are not changing that wire, so that means the resistance of that wire is fixed, it is constant. So that means V is directly proportional to I. That means if I increase the voltage, current will increase, and if I decrease the voltage, current will decrease. So they are directly proportional to each other. This is known as the Ohm's law. Now what is the definition of the Ohm's law? It states that the potential difference V across the ends of a given metallic wire in an electric circuit is directly proportional to the current flowing through it, provided its temperature remain the same. This condition you have to remember, that if the temperature is constant, that means if we are not changing the temperature, then potential difference, which is V, it is directly proportional to the current flowing through the conductor. Clear? But the condition is temperature must remain the same. We cannot change the temperature. Now we will find out what is R, resistance. So it is the property of a conductor to resist the flow of charge through it, like the speed breakers on the road. So when you are moving on a smooth road, suddenly a speed breaker come, your speed will get slowed down. Similarly, when a resistance come in an electric circuit, it will slow down the speed of the current. Also we can define it as the ratio of the potential difference to the current flowing through it. We can also define R as V over I, which is the ratio of potential difference to the current. Now the SI unit of the resistance, as from the Ohm's law we studied that V is equal to IR, that means R is equal to V upon I. So if we have to define the unit of R, I have already told you that whenever we have to define any unit, here we have to define the unit of R. So we will take the value of V and I as one unit. So if I take voltage as 1 volt and current as 1 ampere, then the resistance in the conductor will be 1 ohm. So how we will define the 1 ohm? The resistance of a conductor is said to be 1 ohm if the current of 1 ampere flow through it when a potential difference of 1 volt is applied across it. And that means if suppose this is a wire, this is our resistance, okay, this is our cell or battery, and here we have used an ammeter. So now if 1 volt of, suppose this is a cell of 1 volt, so if 1 volt of current is flowing through, 1 volt of potential difference is set up across this resistance, okay, and 1 ampere of current is flowing through this circuit, then the value of this resistance will be 1 ohm. In Ohm's law, we studied that V is directly proportional to I and R is constant. But as we know, in the domestic circuits, the V is fixed, which is V is 220 volt. That means here voltage is fixed. So we cannot change the current by using the voltage because V is fixed here. That means we have to connect this I to the R because each appliance requires the different amount of current. So if the voltage is fixed, we have to change the current using the R. So how we can do this? See here, in domestic circuit generally the potential difference is constant. I have already told you. So if R is equal to V upon I, so if V is constant, then R will be inversely proportional to I. That means if I increase the R, value of I will decrease, and if I decrease the R, then value of I will increase. That means when I require high current, then I will use a low value resistance, and if I need low current, then I will use a high value resistance, keeping the voltage constant, because in domestic circuits the voltage is constant. So as the different home appliances use the different amount of current, so it is maintained by using the different resistors having the different values. So if I use the different value resistor, they will give the different values of current. Higher the resistance, lower will be the current. lower the resistance, higher will be the current. Clear? So to get the different resistance in an electric circuit, we use a variable resistance. Now what is a variable resistance? As its name suggests, variable means such type of resistance whose values can be changed. So variable resistance, it is a component used to regulate the current without changing the voltage source. It is called the variable resistance. So it is a component which regulate the current. That means we can regulate the current by using a variable resistance without changing the voltage source, because voltage is fixed in the domestic circuit. Okay, next we have the rheostat. Now it is a device used in the electric circuit to change the resistance in the circuit. Now you can see it is a component and it is a device. Device means you can consider it as a regulator of your fan. So that is a type of rheostat. You can use the different, you can get the different value of resistance in your regulator of the fan. So if you keep the regulator at 1, then it will have a high value of resistance and low value current will flow through the circuit, due to which the fan will run at a low speed. But if you keep the fan at 5, then there will be a very low value resistance and the circuit will get more current, so your fan will be move at high speed. Now we will try to find out that the different component, like here we have nichrome wire, 10-watt bulb and torch bulb, whether they will use the same current or different current when we keep the voltage fixed. You can see that we have kept the voltage fixed here. Okay, we have used the 1 2 3 4 cells, so they are fixed. That means here the voltage is fixed, our V is constant. Clear? And we will try to find out that whether these component will use the same current or the different current. So first of all, we will connect the nichrome wire across this XY and note down the value of current from ammeter. Then we will remove the nichrome wire and we will put the 10-watt bulb across the X and Y. Again we will find out the value of current through it. Then we will connect the torch bulb across X and Y. Again we will find out the value of current through the ammeter. Now they are asking, are the ammeter reading differ for the different component connected in the gap XY? What do the above observation indicate? Yes, we will find out that the different component will have the different value of ammeter reading. Clear? Why? Because the resistance of all the component are different. I have already told you that R is inversely proportional to the I, or we can say that I is inversely proportional to the R. Okay, so if the resistance is low, value of I will be high, and if the value of R is high, then the value of I will be low. Next question is, you may repeat the next they are saying that you may repeat the activity by keeping any material component in the gap. That means we can use some other material also. Observe the ammeter reading in each case and analyze the observation. So we will find out that in case of any other component, the reading of ammeter would also be different, because they will also have the different values of R. As they have different values of R, so they will give the different values of I. So we will get the different reading of the ammeter each time. So what do we conclude from this activity? So we conclude that the current through an electric component depend on the resistance. Clear? It inversely dependent on the resistance. Higher the resistance, lower will be the current, and lower the resistance, higher will be the current. So we can classify the components according to their resistance. So we have 4 types of component. First one is the good conductor. Now what are the good conductor? Those substances which have low resistance, they are called good conductor. We can take the example of silver and copper. Clear? So these are good conductor. Next we have the resistor. Those substances which have appreciable resistance are called resistor, like the nichrome wire that we have used in the earlier activity. So these are called resistance. They are generally alloys. Okay. Next we have the poor conductor. Those substances which have high resistance, they are called poor conductor, like air. Air is a poor conductor of electricity. Last one we have the insulator. Those substances which have infinite resistance, they are called insulator, like plastic or rubber. So they are insulator. Clear?